سه دو یک.
The Iranian nuclear program, the largest source of contention in an already unstable Middle East. The decisions made by our President, Barack Obama, will decide whether this crisis is resolved peacefully or with deadly and destructive force. America's power in the Middle East ultimately lies with the United States Fifth Fleet stationed in Bahrain. This is America's single greatest strategic resource within the spectrum of both military action and persuasion. The mere presence of the Fifth Fleet has deterred many Iranian military actions since the end of the Iran-Iraq War, ensuring safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz is vital to the shipment of oil from Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and Iraq to the rest of the world. Any disruption to shipping lanes in this small area could lead to a dramatic increase in oil prices around the world, with severe repercussions for the world economy. Of course, the nation most threatened by this situation is Israel, the world's only Jewish majority nation, and the target of Iranian aggression. Israel considers the Iranian nuclear program to be the biggest danger to its continued existence. In a joint press conference with United States Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta, Israeli Defense Minister Ehud Barak had this to say on his relationship with the United States and the region.
We always keep the right to defend ourselves by ourselves on time where it's needed, but I think that the role of the United States is invaluable in our region. We are looking forward. We do not desire war. We pursue peace, but unfortunately the neighborhood is extremely tough. No place for faint-hearted, how you call it. No second opportunity for those who cannot defend themselves. No mercy for the weak, and we are seeing it daily in Syria, in other corners. But we are determined to flourish in spite of all these developments, and we are determined to make Israel stronger and more secure.
With the world's 12th largest air force, Israel is considered one of the world's most formidable military powers. Despite this, a recent Congressional Research Service report found that without outside assistance from the United States, Israeli aircraft will be pushed to the limit trying to permanently stop Iran's nuclear program with military action. To understand what might be going through the mind of an American military planner, I sat down with retired United States Navy Commander David Merker to get his take on this dangerous situation. Commander Merker was a naval aviator who spent the last 4 years of his career in the Pentagon until his retirement in 2008. When asked what he believes the effect of an armed conflict, conventional or nuclear, would be, he had this to say.
Well, I think both of them have equally devastating impact on the global economy. It's not just the economy of the United States. I think whenever there's some form of uncertainty in terms of the free flow of goods throughout the world, or oppression of one country to another, we have some serious problems. I think that creates uncertainty in all the economies and in all the different markets across the globe. So to your question, yeah, I do believe it would have not just the United States, but the European Union as well.
Indeed, this is exactly what analysts around the world have said with regard to the effects of such a conflict. In an April 2012 Department of Defense report on the Iranian military, it was stated that Iran was committed to cutting off all ship traffic in the Strait of Hormuz, as well as using terrorist organizations under its control, such as Hezbollah, to achieve maximum destruction against well-armed coalition forces. In addition to this, Iran continues to develop weapons delivery systems, such as medium-range ballistic missiles, MRBM for short. These weapons have the capability to strike targets as far away as Israel, Turkey, Eastern Europe, and Greece. Currently, the Iranian military is working on the development of intercontinental ballistic missiles, known as ICBMs. Weapons in this class, such as the American Minuteman III, have the ability to strike New York City and Washington, D.C. from Iranian territory. These weapons, when armed with units known as MIRVs, can deliver multiple nuclear warheads, making any problem the missile may have with accuracy irrelevant. I asked Commander Merker if he felt Iran was capable of delivering a nuclear weapon. He had
I would have
this
to say, in today's day and age, the answer definitely would be yes. And historically, I think individuals believe nuclear delivery is done simply by means of missile or aircraft. There are other means of delivering nuclear warheads, which could be just as equally as devastating. It could be implanted or carried abroad. It doesn't necessarily have to be on a missile or on an aircraft or even on a ship. You could actually bring it in and assemble it on site, and I think that would probably be more of a concern than we would have if it was taken, that could be defeated by any of our air missile defenses, if you would. Our air assets abroad, from our aircraft carriers deployed overseas to our own missile defense systems locally.
At this point, one might be asking themselves, how close is Iran to developing nuclear weapons, and what should President Obama do about it? Experts are heavily divided on the timescale, and setbacks within the program constantly add more time. The most prolific answer is less than a year. It is said that once they attain nuclear weapons, Iran enters a point described as the zone of immunity, where Israel and the United States are unable to act without severe repercussion. During the same press conference, Ehud Barak said this of the zone of immunity.
I think that it will happen during 2013, but I saw that it will happen during 2012, and somehow it didn't happen, and 2011 didn't happen. The Iranian leadership has a lot of tools in their arsenal that they can play with in order to delay.
After reviewing all of this information, it is clear that action must be taken to stop Iran from developing a nuclear weapon. It is clear that if Iran obtains this weapon, it will be capable of using it against Israel or against the United States and its interests in the region. It is also clear that any conflict in the Middle East will be devastating to the world economy, and especially to the United States at home and abroad. This is why it is my belief that Iran's nuclear program is the most important issue for President Barack Obama during his second term.